The relationship between science and the Christian faith can be a very complex issue. And Christians have taken a variety of different approaches and perspectives on making sense of, again, science in light of the Christian faith. And when we think about these kind of conversations, we oftentimes, again, think about theologians and biblical scholars engaging physicists and biologists. And we rarely think about engineers actually contributing to the dialogue. But Dominic, you are a PhD engineer, you are a professor at Oral Roberts University, you're very interested in science-faith issues. And you believe that engineering, again, can help make progress in this conversation. And one of the ideas that you've talked with me about is the idea of affordances. So what are affordances and how do affordances point to design?
Yeah, an affordance is simply something that's provided to the end user of a system. But in more complex systems, it's also recognized as when one part of a system provides something to another part of the system in supplying something to the end user.
Could you give me a quick example?
Yeah, well, the chair you're in affords sitting. I mean, it's a very simple concept. But in natural systems, the sun affords energy to our environment that through photosynthesis provides life to our entire ecosystem. And this has been recently brought up in engineering design by a guy, Dr. Jonathan Meyer at Clemson University, who talks about how this concept of affordance is a key concept that brings out important features in both engineering product design, but also in reverse engineering of natural systems as well as artificial systems.
Now, how would affordances then suggest design if we look at, let's say, a biological system?
Right, well, that's what engineers do, is they create affordances that bring value to their customer or solve some problem or provide something of value. Like a cell phone, for example, provides all these different affordances now that we thought impossible a few years ago. But in nature, this is what we see. We see the universe at all levels, from the telescopic to the microscopic, providing all of these affordances, and sometimes they're embedded affordances where one thing provides an affordance to something else, which provides to something else, and ultimately provides something to the end user, an animal or a human being, for life. It's related to the fine-tuning problem. And so, for example, the expansion rate of the universe afforded the collection of gases and dusts into stars, and those stars produce the heavier elements, and that afforded chemistry. And then that chemistry, molecules combine in certain ways to afford biochemical processes. And ultimately, those chemical processes afford life. And so these nested affordances within nature are so prolific and so connected that it's difficult to imagine that there's no purpose behind it, or no engineering influence behind it, is what I would say.
And of course, if there's engineering, then there is an engineer.
Right.